There is so many things a seller can do to prepare their property for transfer and to avoid any delays at a later stage. As conveyancers, we need to ensure that the documents are signed up overseas correctly. That's usually done at a consulate.
A lot of people only get told about these things once the offer's been accepted. You've now started the transfer process, and like we know, it can hold up everything.
Losing of a title deed is quite a common occurrence, and instead of dealing with it when you've got an eager buyer and you want the transfer to take place swiftly, we would attend to obtaining a deed for you. Building plans is definitely part of that process. If the seller would like us to go to building plans departments in the various areas, we will then go through and obtain those building plans.
Lisa, we had such a great time on our previous episode that we decided to have you back to discuss another very exciting topic, and that is how can one prepare your property for a transfer that's about to happen, or even before you put it on the market?
Mia, so Dykes van Heerden is launching a product currently called DVH Upfront, and it deals exactly with that. There is so many things a seller can do to prepare their property for transfer and to avoid any delays at a later stage. So to give you some examples, a lost title deed is quite common. You think that the bank's got it, or you've recently done a move and you can't find where the title deed is, or you were given it 20 years ago and you're not sure if that attorney exists anymore. So losing of a title deed is quite a common occurrence. And instead of dealing with it when you've got an eager buyer and you want the transfer to take place swiftly, we would attend to obtaining a deed for you. And there's a process involved with that can take some time. We also assist with sellers who might be traveling for business, or they're immigrating and they're going overseas. And as conveyancers, we need to ensure that the documents are signed up overseas correctly. That's usually done at a consulate or an embassy. The seller would then need to make an appointment. It can be hundreds of dollars or pounds in setting up those consultations overseas. So before they leave South African soil, we draw up the paperwork in the form of a special power of attorney or a power of attorney that is accepted by our deeds officers here, which is great. We obviously offer sound legal advice as well. So when that mandate needs to be entered into with a property practitioner, we can look through that mandate with the client together with the OTP when it does come in. We can request anti-nuptial contracts from the deeds office. Those are also items that seem to go missing quite regularly. And one of the biggest delays with transferring of property is dealing with the other regulatory bodies like the municipalities. And so we would get involved up front with going into the municipality, making sure there's no arrears on the account. If there are arrears, assisting the client with entering into payment plans with the municipality and doing meter readings regularly, because we know that can also delay a transaction at a later stage. So there are so many things that can be done before the perfect buyer comes to buy your home. And it really does just get you ready or put you in a position to sell that property where it goes through quickly and we have no issues along the way. I think a delayed transfer always costs everyone in the transaction money.
No, exactly. When we sold my father's property, which you guys actually did the transfer for in Kwampanambi, if you recall, we didn't have the title deed, but only knew this right at the end. So what a valuable service to offer. Something else I wanted to ask, what about house plans? I'll tell you why. We've got a seller recently who's already immigrated, lived abroad for a few years, and we literally got, I hope you wouldn't mind me sharing the story, but I don't think so, a suitcase with the documents of the house plans, but it wasn't complete. So I'm sure that would also be part of the process, is having everything on plan prior to even maybe putting it on the market.
Yeah, so building plans is definitely part of that process. If the seller would like us to go to building plans departments in the various areas, we will then go through and obtain those building plans. So those can be provided to a buyer on their request.
I think this is such a valuable service because a lot of people only get told about these things once the offer's been accepted. You've now started the transfer process, and like we know, it can hold up everything. Another example is also the meter readings. I mean, we're in an estate, so we don't have access always to our own meter reading box.
Yes.
The municipality doesn't always come and read it. So, yeah, very, very valuable service to the client. So, obviously, the best time for them to start with the DVH upfront service would be at the time that they list the property.
So at mandate stage, when you're signing a mandate with a property practitioner that you've nominated, that would be a great time to contact Dykes Van Heerden attorneys, and we can then assist you with this upfront service.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think a lot of people are going to keep that information handy and speak to their property practitioner before they actually even list the property. So thank you very much for that.
Pleasure, Mia.